back at Dave the Confused. Here we are again talking about the scary movies. Revenge. Revenge is literally one of the biggest themes throughout horror, or even just the cinematic world. Revenge is so apparent in so many movies that you may not even notice the underlining subcontext of revenge until it's thrown right in your face at the end of the movie. But I called my cousin Jess and I was like, listen, we gotta talk about revenge movies, okay? No one's done it in at least 6 hours and people need it. And Jess was like, yep, that's what we're gonna do. So here we are talking about our favorite revenge-based movies. And just before we begin, remember we have Dave the Confused merch. Go check it out at Teespring. The link is in the description below. Now, the first movie I want to talk about that's based off revenge is actually a set of movies. And it's the Friday the 13th movies. Now, I'm going to drop a big spoiler alert here, because when we're talking about these movies, sometimes we need to give away important information about the movie in order to get our point across. So right now, spoiler alert to a bunch of movies. So in Friday the 13th Part 1, it takes place at Camp Crystal Lake, which is a lake that's been shut down for a long time, and these teens are coming back to start it up again and have like a summer camp for kids at Camp Crystal Lake. And this mysterious figure picks them off one by one in very gruesome, brutal fashions. The revenge aspect comes in near the end when you find out that the killer is the mother of a boy named Jason Voorhees who died swimming at Camp Crystal Lake. Now, when she put Jason into the camp, he was a little boy with disabilities, and he was supposed to be supervised by the camp counselors, but he was picked on by the other kids and pushed into the water, and he didn't know how to swim, and all the camp counselors were off apparently mating of some sort. They were doing it. And so this mother, years later, goes back to the camp to kill anybody who tries to start up the camp again. Here's where the spoiler kicks in, the big one. At the end of Part 1, the one surviving girl ends up killing Mrs. Voorhees. And that's it. She's dead. But who comes back in Part 2 is Jason. Now, Jason's not a little boy anymore. He's a big, giant man that is full of muscle and testosterone and basically cannot die. It's crazy. But now he's dead set on revenge for people killing his mother and letting him die in the water. So as you can see, revenge fuels Friday the 13th. It's basically its blood that pushes Jason to continue to kill teenagers at Camp Crystal Lake, and as the movies go on, he hunts them down, he goes to New York, he goes to space, blah blah blah. Revenge. Alright, we're at that section of the video where we're going to hear from my cousin Jess and her favorite revenge-based movies.
Hey guys, it's Jessii Vee, and I'm very happy to be back here on Dave's channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite revenge movies. Now, when Dave first asked me to do a video on this, the very first movie that came to my head was Princess Bride. This movie came out in 1987, and it's honestly a classic. If you have not seen it, pause this video right now, go watch it, and then come back. I'm just kidding, watch this whole thing. This is probably one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I'm pretty sure my 4th grade birthday was themed The Princess Bride. And if you've seen it, I'm sure you know what the revenge portion of this movie is. There is a character named Inigo Montoya, and when he was a kid, his father was killed by a six-fingered man. So throughout his adulthood, he's on the revenge path to find this six-fingered man to just avenge his father. And if you've seen it, you also know what he says. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You've killed my father. Prepare to die. That's gotta be like one of the most famous lines from a movie ever. The next revenge movie is Sweeney Todd. Now this is both a movie and it's also a show in the theater. It's about a barber named Benjamin Barker who has this gorgeous wife named Lucy. But her beauty attracts the attention of a man named Judge Turpin, who falsely accuses the barber of a crime he did not commit. So Benjamin Barker goes to jail, and then Judge Turpin like takes control over his wife Lucy, which is really disgusting. So after 15 years, the barber's able to leave jail. He has this new identity. He calls himself Sweeney Todd. And the whole movie, he's basically seeking revenge on Judge Turpin for what he did to his wife. He meets this owner of a pie shop named Mrs. Lovett, who tells him that Lucy died years and years ago. So he opens a barbershop above her pie shop and basically starts killing people who go there and tries to get to Judge Turpin. So it's definitely a revenge film. It's definitely really bloody, so if you're not into that, maybe don't watch it. But I love this movie. It's very dear to my heart, as weird as that sounds. And the last revenge movie I'm gonna talk about is Mad Max Fury Road. Ty and I actually watched this movie a couple weeks ago. I really love it, and I'm not really into action films a lot of the time, but I really am into this one. It's about this horrible guy named Immortal Joe, and he enslaves all of the apocalypse survivor into this place called the Citadel, and all of these women are taken into custody to be used to create babies. So one day this warrior named Ferosa decides to take all of these women away from the Citadel, and they're being chased along the way, and at some point they decide to turn back to get revenge on all the men who did this to them, and they do, and they take over the Citadel, and it's such a good revenge story. This whole movie is like girl power. I love watching it. So if you want a good revenge action film that takes place on the road most of the time, lots of cars, lots of noise. I don't know if I'm selling this well, but it's a really, really good movie. Anyways, guys, I hope you agree with my revenge film choices. I can't wait to hear Dave's, and I will see you guys in a video very soon. Bye!
Who doesn't love A Princess Bride? It's such an amazing comedy, but like it makes you think about jokes and you have to take a step back, and The Princess Bride is literally one of the greatest movies of all time. It literally is. My next and final pick for a revenge-based movie is a movie called Urban Legends. So again, there's a spoiler alert here. It takes place on a college campus where a group of friends are being attacked and stalked and killed by a mysterious psycho killer. But the way the psycho killer is killing them is based off of urban legends. Like, you didn't look in the back seat of your car and a man with an axe comes up and chops your head off. That urban legend. Or you and your girlfriend are in a car and you drive into like a forest and you guys are making out and you hear the scratches at the back of the car, and so the boyfriend gets out to check and the girlfriend stays in the car, and then suddenly she hears like ruckus and scratches on the top of the car, and so she tries to drive away, but what she's hearing is her boyfriend hanging by his neck on the top of the car. And it's like there's all these urban legends and these teens are being picked off by these urban legends. What you come to find out is the serial killer is actually one of the other students, and they're picking off this group of teens based on the main character. For when she was in high school, she accidentally killed a man by essentially doing an urban legend where two cars are coming right at each other and one doesn't have his lights on, and this one, like the one car flashes his lights to get him to turn his lights on, and then when he turns his lights on he tries to drive right into him and takes him off the road, and that ended up killing that gentleman who happened to be the boyfriend of the girl that's stalking and killing them. So out of revenge of a stupid urban legend prank that ended up killing her husband or boyfriend, she now is picking off these teenagers in urban legend fashion in order to seek her revenge on the main character. It's a really good teen-based thriller horror, Very similar in the vein of like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, those type of movies. It's very much in that category where it's like teen, corny, drama, horror movie, thriller, mixed in with like a 90s flair. And there's like 90s heartthrobs that are like all in the main characters. So, I mean, you know, if you have any interest in how the 90s were, that's a good one to watch. And those are our picks for revenge-based movies. If you've seen any of these movies or you have a better movie that has a revenge-based plot, put it in the comments below. And leave a ghost story if you want to. Could end up in another video. Don't forget to check out the Dave the Confused merch. I'm Dave, still confused. Thank you so much for being here, and at least our dogs aren't werewolves. Peace.